Hey, hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron, and welcome to the Gamertron Show. Now, call me a preacher, call me a loony bin, call me someone with unique desires and tastes. But seriously, there are not enough hack and slash video games. Now, I know hack and slash is not everyone's cup of tea. I know a lot of you mostly prefer shooters. And those of you who do prefer hack and slash or melee combat in video games usually prefer them in fighting games and a melee combat game with usually a combo system. But there are people like me, I know there must be people like me, who long for melee combat, who long for hack and slash, who long for games like Prince of Persia, Castlevania Lords of Shadow, DMC Devil May Cry, Star Wars The Force Unleashed, Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, Skyrim, Fable, Darksiders. There are people, players, gamers who long to have a melee weapon in their video game avatar's hands while they swing away at hordes of enemies. However, nowadays more games seem to be moving closer and closer to simple hack and slash and not the old and boring, in my opinion, very boring RPG style combat. You know, the MMO style of melee combat where you select attacks but your character does them? You don't have direct control? I freaking hate that. And it's the main reason Dragon Age Origins has become unplayable for me, and why I prefer games such as Bound by Flame and Kingdoms of Amalur. They have the intriguing characters of stories in Dragon Age, but also have good, solid, fun hack and slash combat. Hack and slash melee combat is just so much more in your face, aggressive, incredibly epic, and incredibly entertaining. Seeing your player character literally hack and slash his way through hordes of enemies, or maybe get into an awesome duel with a boss character. There's also a beautiful simplicity to hack and slash games. Whereas in shooters, you have to move around, get behind cover perhaps, aim up your shots with your mouse, and control your fire with the mouse button. Do you want to do burst fire? Do you want to do automatic? Do you want to do single shot? And that depends on how, when, and how many times you click the mouse. Want that enemy in front of you to die? Well, see how quickly you can click the mouse and hack and slash away at the enemy. All the while, occasionally, perhaps blocking and or dodging. There's a beautiful, very enjoyable, very entertaining simplicity to it. It's easy to get into. With shooters, you need to aim and pick your shots carefully. With a hack and slash, you get right up in the enemy and swing your melee weapon as much as possible, just rapidly tapping the mouse. I personally really enjoy that. I really do love hack and slash games. And I really wish there was more games that focus solely or have a heavy focus on melee combat on the side. It's why I really love games like Warframe and Shadow Warrior that have great gunplay but great swordplay as well. Also, it makes encounters with boss battles so much more personal, because you're getting right up in the face of the boss. You're hacking and slashing away at him. You're not shooting at him from a distance. You're right in his face, perhaps hitting his weak spot, perhaps waiting for his guard to drop so that you can get a few good hits in and take out a chunk of his health. All the while blocking and dodging his own attacks while you're hacking away at him. Hell, he may do the same to you, making it an epic, versatile, memorable, and personal duel. While that does happen and can happen very well in shooters, first person or third person, there's something really special about getting into a hack and slash melee duel with a boss. Also, who just doesn't love swords, shields, axes, or sci-fi mechanical versions of these weapons? Come on, you are lying to me if you say as a kid you never picked up a stick or a toy sword and swung it around, imagining you were some sort of warrior saving the day, beating up all the bad guys with your melee weapon. With that toy sword, toy axe, toy hammer, or that stick you pretended that was a real sword stick or hammer. You know what I mean. Hack and slash gameplay is literally a dream come true for a lot of people. The idea or dream of taking a melee weapon and going up against armies of demons, monsters, bad guys, and maybe even dragons, slaying evil and coming out on top. And there is something that is immediately cool and awesome about a sci-fi game or a game set in the future where the characters use melee weapons, where they use these sci-fi swords and other crazy melee weapons. There's something so awesome about having awesome guns that can blow stuff up and tear people to shreds, but instead these characters use melee weapons and not guns. There's something so cool about that, where they choose to go with swords and melee weapons instead of firearms. There's something inherently cool about that. I'll make it as simple as this. I want more hack and slash games. I want more games with a heavy focus on melee combat. And I want them on the PC. Mouse and keyboard controls work fine. They work great for hack and slash games. Not enough developers realize this. Us PC players have been gypped too many times. We can't play God of War, which is a critically acclaimed and probably the most well-known hack and slash game of all time. We didn't get Dragon's Dogma, a game that would have been perfect for PC, which is very similar to Skyrim, only with a far more in-depth and interesting melee combat system, where along with the hack and slash and melee combos, you could also grab and throw smaller enemies, all the while grabbing and climbing onto larger enemies. Hell, we don't even get Demon Souls. Come on! God of War, Dragon's Dogma, Demon Soul, and countless other games with hack and slash or melee combat systems are just ignored on PC. PC isn't even given a chance. I mean, how hard is it to port the game to the PC and have you hack and slash away with the mouse, just clicking the mouse buttons? I really like hack and slash games, and I really wish there were more on PC. I really wish there were just more in general. I wish there was more made. Oh yeah, and talking about God of War just a minute ago, just because a game is in third person and it has hack and slash melee combat doesn't make it a God of War knockoff, copy-paste clone or something like that. Darksiders, Garshap the Monster Slayer, Castlevania Lords of Shadows, hack and slash is its own genre. Melee action games are their own genre. Just because a new game releases after God of War doesn't make it a copy, knockoff, bull crap. I don't know where people get this idea where if any other hack and slash melee combat game comes out, it is automatically a God of War ripoff somehow. What kind of stupid, backwards ass logic is that? It's a genre! There can be more than one game in a genre! It's the same thing with you first-person shooter people who say that every first-person shooter that comes out is a Call of Duty knockoff. It's a genre! There can be more than one franchise! There can be more hack and slash games besides God of War, and there can be more first-person shooters besides Call of Duty. It's called logic! Ooh, sorry about that. I just really don't like it when people say stupid, nonsensical crap. But that may also be a problem with hack and slash games, is that they're very similar to one another. You have a melee weapon, you have a block or dodge mechanic, and you fight away at hordes of enemies, swing away at them. And most likely probably have the ability to execute enemies when they're wounded, downed, or you have a grab move of some sort. Or a parry or a counter or something like that. A lot of hack and slash games really have similar mechanics to each other and are very relatable to one another. But the same can be said for a lot of games. 2D platformers, first-person and third-person shooters, RPGs. It can be said for a lot of games. A lot of games have very similar mechanics and styles. But hack and slash may be a bit more so. Hack and slash may have been done before, but I want more games in it. I want more games where you play as warriors and knights, and you fight demons and dragons. I want more games where I have direct control of my character, and when I click the mouse, I swing my sword. I want more games where I get into epic duels or epic large-scale battles with a variety of interesting melee weapons, and if not interesting, just the classic sword and shield. I really like hack and slash games. I may be a one-of-a-kind guy, I may be in a small percentage who thinks this. Either way, doesn't change the fact, it wouldn't hurt anyone if a few more hack and slash melee combat games came out. As a matter of fact, that'd be pretty awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit the like button if you did, hit the subscribe button to subscribe to me and support me, and check out more of my content and keep up to date with upcoming content. And please leave a comment of what you think of the topic of the video, what you think about me, what you think about what I talked about, the quality of the video, whatever. Just please leave a comment and let me know what you think of the video. Anyways, I'll see you guys later.